So thank you so much, Stephen, for coming in. Thanks a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
last time around when we interacted, things were different. Now things are different, but on a positive side, of course, you are married now, and you are going to be a father also in October. So, I mean, for you, things are different again.
Sometimes you get lucky.
Yeah, I'm sure, and these are exciting times. And of course, for Indian tennis, you are a very familiar name for us now, primarily because of one of the hottest Indian properties in tennis that you have been handling, Yuki Bhambri. And so your journey with Yuki, of course, goes back since, when you were 16 years, right? At IMG Academy.
Yeah, I mean, I got lucky, so I really appreciate all the people in India, and Yuki and PJ and Ria keep bringing up my name, and you guys keep wanting to talk to me. So I'm lucky. It's an honor.
No, I mean, it's we are lucky to have a coach like you, because Yuki, we all know what a fine player he has been. Of course, now he's going through some unfortunate injury, but I'm sure he'll go come out of that as well. But not only Yuki, of course, the journey started with Yuki, but it's still going strong with Indian tennis. It only enhances your association with Indian tennis in form of now you being the director of Impact Tennis Academy in Thailand. We've got players, fine players like Rutuja, Bosley. Then we've got Pranjala there, Ria also there, right? Ria Bhatia. Then from
Rutuja only came for like 2 days when I didn't have much to do with Rutuja.
Oh, okay. But Pranjala is still.
Yeah, I think Rutuja was somewhere in Spain, and then I think she's with Herman in Pune.
Okay.
So I won't take anything from Rutuja. She's a good kid.
Sure. Yeah. True. Yes. But Dave Jaria, he's.
Dev comes a lot. Started what year? 2020. So he maybe came end of 2018.
Mm-hmm. True.
I mean, we've had a lot come through. Not a lot have stayed. Some have stayed. The ones that stayed have done pretty well. Yeah.
That's true. I mean, so what is that USP of Impact Tennis Academy that really pulls the Indian players there? Not only Indian. I mean, we've seen so many Asian players there. Now it's kind of a base. So what is that thing that you really have? Yeah.
USP. I mean, I coach a lot on my intuition. I coach a lot just based on whatever pops into my head. It's good and it's not good. I've made mistakes in the past.
We all do.
I mean, and we got to get better, and we got to keep learning. And I think part of it was I need to understand a bit better, especially the Indian players when they come.
True.
A lot of them are maybe the best player in the academy they're coming from. A lot of them are, even if they're like 50 in ITA, they are the best in their state or their city. And they're used to hearing, you're going to make it. You're the best. You're really good. More positive things, I guess, so my thing is, I mean, maybe I think it's misunderstanding. I mean, I appreciate all the parents and all the players who've come. It's not easy to travel overseas for tennis.
True. Yes.
Thailand's one of the better countries because you can get a visa on arrival.
Yeah.
You get 2 weeks. It's pretty easy. Just line up and done. That may change with I don't know. We'll have to see with the.
Yeah, maybe. No, I'm sure. Yeah, things will again settle down.
But yeah, a lot of like, I mean, in terms of the mistakes, I would say, look, when they walk in and they give me a goal, and all of them say, I want to win Wimbledon. All of them say that. I need to do a better job at the difference between a dream and a goal. And because we call it, I mean, the USP, say for me, would be, look, we don't want 200 kids. I don't want 250 courts in 20 different locations.
True.
We want 12 kids, 14 kids that really want to go for it, really commit to it, 30 weeks, 35 weeks a year. And they really all want to go for it. But that's what they all say when they come in. They all say, we want to go for it. The trouble is, some of those goals are so unrealistic. And the trouble with doing a trial, like we say, look, all the players will have a 1 or a 2 week trial, depending on how long you want to stay with the visa, whatever, is I go too hard at the start. That's my weakness. I go too hard at the start because the moment you walk in and I see, look, you've got no fitness, you've got no forehand, you've got no footwork, and you go, look, I want to win Wimbledon, I overdo it because I go, look, you just can't win Wimbledon with that. You can't. We've got to fix this. Let's go.
True.
And it's too much, too hard, too quick. And a lot of them just leave and they'll go and talk bad about me when they get back to India. But they don't understand actually what I want for them is to give them that goal. I want to give them quick education, get them on the path as quick as possible, get them on a better path, the right path, and educate them. I mean, I really want to, you know, we at the Academy, we really want to be on your team. We really care for your tennis. It just gets all misunderstood with everything, you know?
Also, one of the reasons also because you might have gone a little bit hard, of course, for the right reason, I'm saying, because you don't have too much time to kids, right? I mean, they come on, say for about maybe 2-3 weeks. And time is also constrained for you, right? It's not that they stay. Yeah,
and I'm sure they also have an expectation when they come to me, right? My reputation, good, bad, whatever it is, I think they have an expectation, and the trouble is, you know, I have trouble not giving the truth. Like, I should maybe plan it better what to say, but I just say what I see. I try to be honest. I try to be realistic. And if I match up with someone who's unrealistic, then we're going to have an argument, you know? And I really don't want arguments. It's really stressful. And it's not good to have someone leave the Academy that I know didn't have a good experience with us and is going to go back and talk a lot of shit about me in India. It's not what I want. But, yeah, I mean, you can probably, you and the Indian Tennis Daily guys, you can feed back to me and really help me with the mentality of the players, you know, and the education, because I really want success. And so if you said, what's tennis? You would say, man, that's so tough. It's not power. It's not endurance. It's both. It's not technique, mental. It's both. It's probably the hardest sport one of the hardest sports on the planet, with all the travel as well, the money you have to spend.
Yes.
So there's two ways to get better, right? So make the weaknesses stronger and make the strengths even stronger. But when you change something like that on a player, they're going to be uncomfortable. So if I say, example, hey, your serve sucks. It's not good enough. It's not going to be good enough to get to 100. And you've come from an academy where you've got the best serve in the whole academy. You don't want to hear that.
Mm-hmm. True. Yeah.
Or you come to us and you got a fitness trainer that says 10 push-ups is great. And I go, what are you talking about? How come you can't pump out 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, and feel nothing? So that's where we all get misunderstood. So I don't really think we have a USP, you know? I mean, some of it maybe would be the players who have stayed have all done well, like Dev, Manas, right? Yuvan, Agria, these younger ones. PJ won her first 25K. Ria won her first 25K. Yuki went and, you know, popped through 100 3 times over. I guess maybe that helps, and I guess it helps. The USP also helps that I used to work at IMG, so I'm bringing maybe some of Florida back with me. I guess it also helps that with all the pros that have come through, the pros I've traveled with because of all the different places I've lived in. And, you know, like I said, I've got lucky with everyone. So maybe that's the USP. You would know better than me, I guess, what the USP is.
Yeah. No,
but
I'm
we
sure.
just try to do whatever we can.
Yeah. True. I mean, what you said is right, because if on one hand, if I want to win Wimbledon, so I have to put that much of extra effort also, right? So that way. But having said that, now you as a coach, you obviously know, that at say 25 years, if a guy is still not doing too well at a professional circuit, at some point of time, we also know that tennis, it's only top 100 guys who really, not only make money, but who actually do well in circuit. So how, I'm sure you also communicate the same to the parents and the kid, for example, that okay, so and so is the case, and then he might not be, he might not make it big in professional circuit. I mean, that's a fact of life, right? But what really leaves with him is the life skill that he would have been taught on the same tennis court of yours, right? So do you really communicate that stuff to the parents and the players? I'm sure it's a very tough call, but that's the way of life, I guess, right?
I mean, I think it also, it starts with what is the goal, right? What is your goal and how do you define success? Okay, let's use the Indian examples. Like Prajnesh went to college.
True, yeah.
Arjun, which is Arjun Kade.
Yeah, Arjun
right?
Kade.
He went to college.
Yes.
Jivan went to college.
Somdev also went to college.
Right. Somi was a legend of college tennis, this guy.
Yeah,
if at 18 they went pro instead of college, maybe what happened for their pro tennis careers after college would have never happened. I'm pretty sure all of them have good things to say about college, especially someone like Somi, right? Somdev, wow, right? College really, really helped him. So
True.
Is it bad to go to college? In those cases, that's not bad. But then again, that's, it's about education. If you go to a bad school with a bad coach and a bad team, going to college doesn't mean you're going to be the next Somdev.
True.
And that's where it's about everyone's education, I mean, we talk about the life lessons. Okay, so if you first start tennis and you go, look, let's just play. What is tennis going to, like, I'm a social player, you're a social player. What is tennis going to give to us? Well, it's exercise. It's fun.
Yeah.
Win, lose. Tennis, like, we know the stats. So it's 55% points won, means 45% you fail. Can you handle that? So you learn about up, down. So 45% fail also means you have to find solutions. You have to problem solve.
True.
You got to think. Now, we also know that from match point up, you can still lose a match. So you've got to become a closer. You got to finish the job. You can't do it halfway and stop. We also know it's a process. So if you keep improving every day, you understand about the journey, the destination. I mean, that's pretty much life. Up, down, good, bad, get better every day, learn, succeed, fail, win first round, lose second round, win a tournament, next week lose first round. I mean, that's life. So that, when we talk about life lessons, tennis is perfect. But I mean, we the ones who are with me long enough, we communicate this all the time. It's just the ones that come in for a week or 3 days, they think I'm too hard, I'm too tough, I'm too negative, and then they're out. Because I mean, like I said before, if I tell you what's wrong, I mean, we have a rule at the academy. When I speak to the students, I say, look, I'm not going to tell you something that you can't do, and I'm not going to tell you something that you don't need to do to get better. So that's the rule.
Yeah.
But is that negative or not? Because if I find something that you're not good at, if you look at it the wrong way, it's negative. If you look at it that this guy wants to make me better, it's a positive. And I get misunderstood a lot on that, not just by Indians.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's all about life choices, like you said. It's also about the goal that they would have set. If for a kid whose goal is really to do well in tennis, I'm sure he would like the lessons that you would have given them.
Yeah,
So that's
but
yeah,
you know, you've done covered tennis for years. There
true.
are some steps you just can't miss.
Yes.
I mean, if you're not winning any ITF junior tournaments,
Yes.
and you want to go from ITA 150 to pro, you just can't. You know, I mean, you can look up Nadal's ITF junior ranking and say, well, he was never ranked that high. But come on, at 14, 15, 16, he's beating adults already. So everybody already knew.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so you can't. There are some steps that people are skipping, and they want to hear that they can still make it pro because someone is telling them that.
True. Yeah. Now coming back to again one of the hottest properties of Indian tennis,
Okay.
Yuki Bhambri. So we really want to hear more about him because we know he's a fine player, and so just when he was peaking, you know, that's when this unfortunate injury happened. In fact, it has been hampering his career all throughout. So how do you, as a coach and a player, communicate during such time? What do you actually tell Yuki during this time? I'm sure he's mature enough; he has seen it before also. But I'm sure there's some kind of communication that happens between a coach and a player during this time. Of course, you're not there in Delhi, but still, how do you manage such situations? You know, this is, I wouldn't call it a crisis management, or maybe I would call it a crisis management. But how do you actually do that?
I mean, with everything, you can look at the positive and you can look at the negative. The one thing I can tell you about Yuki is he is a unbelievable human. He's a great friend. He's a super guy. It's not just the tennis. When he goes down with an injury, it hurts all of us. So the thing, so one of the first things we said was, look, we know when he was younger, he didn't do enough. So he's going to be catching up for his whole career.
Okay.
Right. So, are you willing to do the work? Now, maybe earlier on, Yuki, not such a hard worker. Now he works. He committed to it. He works. And every time he's worked, he's had the success. I mean, he's been to top 100. It's not his peak, but he's been to top 100 in, out, in, out, in.
True.
3 times. So the positive thing is that each of the injuries has each been a different injury. If you said tennis elbow and then next year, tennis elbow again, then you would say, hey, you didn't take care of it. You're not doing the right things. True. So he's had ankle, elbow, and now it's knees. They're different injuries. So he doesn't he gets down because he's on a road that he thinks he's about to really do something. And that year we were looking at top 50 easy. And then boom, knee. So, I mean, is it worse to have never been up there? Probably. He knows he can get back there. The moment he's healthy, he knows he can get back there. He knows. Yeah. So it's like a hungry tiger trying to get out of a cage. It's just a frustrating thing for him. It's not like he doesn't know he can't play. It's not like he doesn't know how to win. It's just, this is an injury. He's got to deal with it. And I keep, we keep talking about it. It's almost funny now. He goes, I'm going to be the most qualified physio in the history of India because I know every single injury and how to fix it. So he's going to be a very expensive trainer when he retires.
I'm sure, he does. He knows about all injuries, I'm sure,
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so it's unfortunate, but if you look at it on the positive side, he hasn't had a lot of like LeBron and Kobe. He hasn't had 10 full seasons with full playoffs. He's pretty fresh. He's injured, but his body's fresh.
Yeah. Every time he comes back, he's fresh. Yeah.
So
maybe you're blessing this guy.
I choose to focus on the positive thing.
Yeah, true.
When he's healthy and he comes back, the world can look out. So that's what we keep focusing on.
True. Now, I actually want to hear on behalf of the entire, knowledgeable Indian tennis audience, What is the latest on Yuki? Because I've seen him, posting videos of him training in Delhi. So is he recovering or is he still in the process? Because we all don't know because he doesn't.
We call it 70 to 80%. I mean, he can move. He's pain free when he's playing. He hasn't trained properly, like, the good old 6 hours a day, double sessions with the gym. He's not there yet. But if you said, he had that procedure not really that long ago, he's up to 70, 80% by now. Look, I'm not sure if the tour is going to start. We really not. But if you said, look, so the goal right now is, can you add 5% a month?
Okay.
So that would put him pretty much. If you project when the tour is going to start, we think nothing till next year. We think, but I think they'll start earlier. But let's see. We're aiming for that. 5% more a month, and I don't want him to step back on the court until he is fully.
Yeah.
It's just he's not old. He's not even 30 yet. I mean, you and I are pretty old. We know what it's like. So he's a young buck compared to us.
True. And also now, of course, players play beyond 30, 33 days. I mean,
28 is the peaking age, so this is his year, if you look at it that way.
Yeah, true. Yeah. True. Actually, before the injury that Yuki had, he was kind of playing great tennis, right? I think he played some of the best tennis of his career. He also started traveling with him. He played a great Indian Wells Masters, where he beat the then world number 12 Lucas Pouille. Then after that,
who just won Dubai, who was coming off a win.
True. Yeah. Yes. He just came off a win, and then he beat the same guy. Then after that, he won ATP Challenger, I think. Yeah. So after then, this happened. So what actually went right during that time? I mean, I'm sure there were certain things.
Yeah, certain things. Actually, the initial plan was he wanted to go to China and play challenges, because Indian was Miami. He was going to be in qualies. But I said, I'm not, sometimes, like you say, I'm blunt or whatever. I said, you go to China, you go alone.
Okay.
And he's like, but I'm going to be playing qualies at Indian Wells in Miami. I said, well, then you play qualies and you qualify. So he thought about it for a while, and what makes him a champion, and of course we built this level of trust, is he goes, okay, fine, let's go.
True. Okay.
So we went for it, and I think just that mindset of, okay, let's go for it. Let's not stick with what we're comfortable at, because by that time he'd won a few challenges already.
Yeah.
So he was willing to step out of his comfort zone to go and play qualies in a Masters, which isn't easy, because if you don't go through, you're stuck there for 10 days to 2 weeks, no money.
Yeah.
And the cost of going to America with someone who has no sponsors, not good, and plane tickets and Airbnb and rental cars and everything. And so I think that started it. I want to play Masters level tournaments. I want to play these guys, right? So by then he'd already lost to Murray in the Australian Open. The next year he lost to Berdych in the Australian Open, and he's going, man, my draws are terrible. And I'm going, man, your draws are excellent. He's like, what is wrong with you? I said, because, you're getting to play top 10 players. You know what it's like.
That's what you play for, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just the same. It's that flipping that mentality. And then when he drew Lucas Pouille, he's like, oh, God, look at it again.
Again.
And I'm like,
oh,
yes. No. And well, I'm like, yes. And then we, like we do, I spent, 6 hours up at nights watching Pouille videos. Because being one of the top guns, there's a lot of Lucas Pouille videos, because he's pretty famous.
Yeah. No, it's very interesting.
We figured out how we can find a game plan to
right. So
counter him.
yeah, sorry. Very interestingly, he in fact beat Lucas Pouille before also, right? So he has actually beat twice. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
beat Monfils the year before. That was
Yeah,
a big
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean head to head, he's got 2-1 against Lucas Pouille. Long back,
But that
he won.
wasn't when Lucas was
No,
what
no,
he
no.
was. So
Obviously,
yeah,
obviously. I mean, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I
That's
think there's a lot of juniors running around with a Federer win.
okay. I know what you're saying. Okay.
But yeah, I
True,
mean,
true.
it was the mindset shift. He had a tough match with Ram Kumar. He had a tough match with the French doubles guy. What's his name?
Herbert.
Herb. No, the guy who partners him.
Herbert, right?
No, Herbert's partner.
Oh, okay. Oh, that guy. Yeah, yeah. Forgot his name. Yeah, he beat him in the first round, I guess.
But that guy used to be top 50 or something. Also,
Yeah, yeah.
But got through it, and then he started. I think just builds belief. With each little thing, it builds belief. And
Yes.
when he played Pouille, we had a good game plan. He wasn't even sure if it would work, but then it started working, and then we started drawing an error there, and he looked up at us in the box. He's like, "Oh shit, maybe I can do it." And then that's it. Once you get that little smell, I can do it, and the crowd there was going nuts for him. It was great.
Yeah.
He pumped and then did it.
I actually
that was a good week.
Yeah, yeah. I actually saw you in the stands. You're there talking to his sister. You're there. Yeah. And actually, he also had a very good match against Sam Querrey, right? So
that one should have won that one. Really angry about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know you're still pissed with him because of that. And handling his serve was really something because Sam Querrey, I mean, had that serve of his, and he was actually using.
But he also has a few patterns, so he has tendencies, also, so you can get a jump on it.
Okay. I mean, I actually saw Yuki using the pace of Sam Querrey's serve, right? So he was returning.
Yeah, when you study them enough, like players have patterns and tendencies, so you can get a little head start sometimes.
True, yeah.
On reading the serve and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, technically, of course, I think Yuki has got a strong foundation, right? He's got a very good forehand, good backhand also. But I think serve is something that is a bit low on pace because nowadays, if you see in an environment wherein everybody is serving at 200 kilometers per hour, but you have been quite insistent on the fact that you have added variety to his serve, right? The wide serve and all this stuff. But having said that, of course, yeah.
I mean, it like the process we keep talking about. His backhand, we've been working on his backhand a lot actually, to get the down the line. I want it a little bit flatter, a little bit deeper. The forehand, certain open stances, he over rotates and loses power. So we've been working on that too. The serve is something. Yeah, there's a little hitch in it. We've tried various things with the legs, the toss, the tossing arm, a little bit more rotation, starting the feet a bit different, just to juice it up a little bit. But in the end, his service hold percentage is 69%, which would put him right now ATP top 50.
Oh, I didn't know that, really.
Right at 50. I mean, the number 49. The number 49 holds serve 70% of the time. Yuki holds serve 69%. So,
that's
my friend is Craig O'Shaughnessy, who's famous for all the stats right now. So, the fact is that most of the points are over within 2 shots. So I sold Yuki on this. If the points are over in 2 shots, like serve and a strike, the main purpose of the serve doesn't have to be ace, 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 ace. If you can get serve and a ball with time, you can still find a way to hold serve effectively. And until you can, because everyone's been talking about his serve in Indian media for his whole life, that it's not 200 kilometers an hour. So if I go, look, Yuki, I mean, he said that in previous years. I need my serve. It's not fast enough. I'm never going to make it until it's fast enough. because that's been the focus. So the focus became, look, I'm going to do a serve that creates time, and I'm going to really hurt you on that ball after the serve. And we focused a lot on that, and he bought into it. Mentally, he bought into it. He can go bang, 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 or not bang. Okay, you guys will say it's not a bang because it's not 200. So jab and bang or something like that.
Yeah.
But his first serve percentage is good. The placement's good. The variety, as long as we can keep you where you're not going to smash our first serve return, we're still in the advantage because we decide where we're going to put it. So that's how we managed to do that. I mean, 69% hold isn't the best in the world. Isner's at 93%, obviously. Federer's 92 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But for winning your service games, 69 would put him at 50 in the world right now.
Oh,
and
that's a very important stat. Yeah. In fact, it has. Oh,
I mean, win percentage on second serve for Yuki's 49%, which is much the same as everyone else.
True. Okay. Yeah. True.
So that's what. So I'm trying to sell it to you. Now you understand. I sold it to him at work.
True. Yeah. True. I mean, it's all about how you sell the message at the end of the day, right? I mean, that message that he bought.
Also, that's the sport now. I mean, it is great to be Riley Opelka and John Isner and serve 230 bomb and just done. But maybe their first ball, their footwork on the first ball isn't as good as Yuki's, or their placement on their first ball isn't as good as Yuki's.
True.
So we can even the playing field a little bit that way.
Yeah. So what happens if the same serve comes to John Isner that fast? He's got nowhere to go, right? And but Yuki is already prepared, for the same return. I guess that's how it is.
I mean, if Yuki shows up after quarantine with a 240, we'll take it. But if not, we got to find another way.
True. Yeah. No, I'm sure. No, it's a very underrated serve. Then I mean, when you're saying it's 69%, obviously it's a good stats. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Service game percentage 69. You can look it up. It's not bad.
True. Yes. So, Stephen, you of course have coached, even a player of the caliber of Kevin Anderson before. We know the caliber of Kevin Anderson is a great player, so to say. Twice Grand Slam finalist, Wimbledon and US Open. So, how do you actually manage to give different lessons to two different sets of players? For example, at one hand you've got Kevin Anderson, who is right up there, and then at the other hand, there's of course a gap between the two. I'm not talking Yuki as such. Say any other player. So how do you manage to customize your coaching accordingly? I'm sure you do that, but how easy or difficult it is to manage both sets of players?
I mean, I had Kevin when he was 160, and we did 3 months, and then that year he ended up at 60. So I can't take credit for Kevin going to 5 in the world and Wimbledon final.
No, yeah, I'm not saying
so. Yeah, I mean, look, the higher the level of the players you coach, the higher the level of the players they're going to compete against. So the better you have to be as a coach. You got to watch a lot more video. You've got to really study. I cheat a little bit because I got a really good group and coaches network. I got a lot of friends. It sucks when you're playing against each other, but we can ask each other through WhatsApp or something like that, or we can ask a few of the, you look at the past matches. If they played any of the players I used to coach, we can just call them and go, hey, what do you remember from that match? I mean, let's say the pros. I mean, I had Basilashvili, Chung, Nishioka, Bhambri, Lloyd Harris, Yuki. I mean, everyone has weaknesses. So when I first start coaching one of these guys, I study them like I would as an opponent. You know what I mean? So I try to find
True.
how I
Yeah.
would beat them.
Okay.
So if I can find how I would beat you, then you come and work with me. All of a sudden, I need to patch those holes, because if I can see them, someone else can see them. And when you coach the pros, unlike some of the fights I've had with some of the players, the lower level players, they want the weakness. They want you to tell them the weakness. They want to know how to fix it, because that's big money, right? It's money.
True. Yes.
Right. So, I mean, I think your question is like, what's the real difference? I mean, coaching pros is easier. They're easier to coach.
Yeah.
They listen quicker.
True.
They're more professional with their mindset. Yeah, I prefer coaching pros because they're easier to coach. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Did I answer or not?
Yes. Of course you did. Yeah. Obviously, because to coach a pro, I mean, for them it's bread and butter, right? I mean, for them it's I mean, they literally live through tennis. So obviously, you know, they understand it much better than somebody who's not a pro. You know. Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah. I mean, and that's maybe interesting, right? Because someone who's already successful on the tour and had results and played all the Grand Slams, they're easier to sell a message to than someone who's not pro, not been successful, and never been there. It's a bit weird, maybe.
No, I mean, it's not actually. I mean, I did understand what you were saying. True, yeah. Also, another very interesting thing about Impact Tennis Academy is that we have seen that a lot of those top players, like Chung, you said, then Nicolas, then our very own Yuki also, you know, they used to go for a pre-training season, right? That start somewhere around December, I guess. I mean, so what is that they love so much about Impact? You know, what? Because these are top guys, right? Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them say the food. Chung's addicted to pad thai. He orders the same thing, 25 lunches in a row. I mean, to be honest, I guess I cheated a little bit again because I've known Chung since he was 12 when I went with him to Le Petit As in IMG. Nishioka, I've known him since 15. I did ITFs with him. Yuki, I've known him since 16. Vasilishvili, I've known since 16. So we just started going, look, what are you doing in December? You're going to Florida again? It's 33 hours away. We then have to fly from there to Qatar or Brisbane to start the season. It's so far. Everyone knows Thailand is hot as hell. But with a roof over the courts we have, it's pretty much 32, 33 degrees. It's not 48 and killer, but you get a lot of heat. Then it grew. I mean, people started talking about it. Obviously, that one amazing year where that Yuki's amazing year was the amazing year also Chung made semis. Jason Seng won 2 Grand Slams and ended year in number 1.
Well,
Nick went and won 2. Nick won 2 ATP 500s. Nishioka won his first ATP 250. They all did preseason with us together. I'm not saying that's the only reason they won, but it just happened. They had a great year after preseason. And
yes.
The other thing is, you know, like I said about Yuki, they're good guys. We work our asses off, but it's really, really fun. We're all friends off the court. We go to dinners. We book a table for 18 people. We go-kart racing together.
I've seen that.
It's become like a family reunion, like a Christmas party, like a Thanksgiving dinner. We've made our own little tennis family every December, and some people come in and out. Chung's been the last 4 years. Yuki comes whenever he can, whenever he's healthy. Randy Liu comes a lot, and it's a really good environment. I think everyone enjoys it. All the coaches coach everyone. We don't just coach our own player. So we talk about all the drills. All the coaches help everyone. So say Chung's now with a guy called Neville Godwin. This guy was ATP Coach of the Year.
He was a player.
And a former player. So, like, example, we would go look at, say, example, Jason Seng's serve. Jason Seng is coached by his father. So, Jason Seng serving, we can go, hey, father, Ed, do you want us to have a look? And he goes, yep, let's all have a look.
Oh, okay.
So you get 4 or 5 coaches looking
together
at your serve.
True. Yeah.
So we make a team, we make a family, we make like the brain trust of preseason.
Yeah.
And we all legitimately get along. And it's just a great environment. So that's why I think it keeps happening.
True. Yeah. No, one thing I just want to pick to what you said. Of course, you've got a covered court. Things are different at Impact. But otherwise, for example, in a country like India or during summers in Thailand, we know how hot it is, right? So a player, say, training in India for 6 hours and a player training in France with a nice climate around, will it not make a difference at all? Because I'm sure it does, right? Because the hot, humid Chennai climate, or maybe Delhi also during summers, you know how hot it is in outdoor environment. So does it really matter, climate for tennis training?
I mean, sometimes you go to Melbourne and it's 23 degrees. Sometimes the next day it's 34. So,
true. Yeah.
But there's also that quality versus quantity element, right? So every preseason, we've never had to say to one person, hey, you're not pulling your weight. You're not working hard enough. You're not on time. And that's what I meant about like working with professionals. They legitimately really want to help each other, right? The better a hit I am for you, the better you are making me, right? So, yeah, I mean, don't think so. I mean, train in Europe, train in IMG, whatever. Obviously, every place has its advantages and disadvantages, but it's going to go down to the quality of your practice, the purpose of your practice, and what you put into your practice. I mean, yeah,
True. Okay, sure. Yeah. Now talking about the Asian players, if you really talk about the quality, singles players, I'm talking about coming out of Asia, there are only a handful, right? I mean, if I may ask you, we had Vijay Amitraj from India. I'm talking the open era. He was as high as 16 on the ATP. He reached Grand Slams thrice. So was Ramesh Krishnan, who was, I think, as high as 23 on the ATP. He also reached the quarterfinals.
So smooth, that guy.
Yeah.
How smooth was that guy?
Yeah, very smooth. Thrice he actually reached, right? With all the limitation of his serve and whatever. Then there was a big lull, and then we had somebody like Leandro Paes and Suzu Matsuoka from Japan. Of course, not that level, but still, they were decent enough. And then, of course, we had then the great Thai, the superstar, so to say, Paradon Srichappan, who was as high as world number 9, I think, is best. And of course, now we've got Kei Nishikori. So hardly 5-6 guys that we can count, right? So what is the hindrance? I mean, is it to do with the physicality of the Asian players? What I'm trying to say is that is because tennis being a very physical nature, and maybe Asians are not in terms of physicality, in the presence, on the tennis court. Is it to do with that or something else?
I mean, that era, I have no idea. I wasn't even coaching. So, I mean, I wasn't coaching the level of play to go pro. I mean, I get asked this a lot. I can't speak for other people. I mean, this is just my opinion, because all the players, the Asian players I know, they've all made it. So, like, Randy Liu made it. Chung made it. Their careers aren't even finished yet. Nishioka made it.
True.
Yuki,
Yeah.
you can say he made it, but they haven't peaked yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you say physicality, I'll say, well, Nishioka's short.
True. Yeah.
Right, and then you'll say Ivo Karlovic's big.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
is there an ideal physical size for tennis?
Yeah. True.
Not
Yes.
really.
Yeah.
Like there's Schwartzman and Nishioka.
Mhm.
There's Riley Opelka and Ivo Karlovic. So is there a physical thing about Asians? No, because Nishioka is really fast, right? Nishioka and Chung, they got massive wheels. So I don't know, like Randy has an amazing work rate. You know, everyone talks about Yuki's talent. You know, I don't think there's something missing. You know, if you look at every single junior top 10 at the end of every year in the top 10, there's an Asian. There's an Asian. If there's anything, okay, I don't want to get in trouble, but I'm just making a theory. Okay, let's go with it.
No
I
problem.
would say success when you're a junior and translating that to success when you're a pro is the element that maybe coaches, parents, and players of Asians aren't educated enough on.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
if I'm every year there's a top 10 Asian junior, 1 or 2 or 3. How come by that definition and what and your question, how come there aren't more Asian top 100 players?
True.
Right?
Yeah. So maybe the
So
transition has been a difficult problem, right? From
transition
junior to seniors.
It is difficult, and I maybe the education of the coaches to give that message to the juniors, and the parents to give that message to the juniors, and the federations to get, maybe they miss it. I mean, it's not easy for a junior. You're going from top 10, you're playing Grand Slams, you see Federer in the same restaurant and Nadal in the same restaurant, and all of a sudden you're going to spend the next 3 years in Turkey with a crowd of 0.
True. Yes.
And it gets tough, and you know, to reset the goals and understand the process and be on a development path that is step by step and have that planned and explained to the kids. Maybe they can't handle it as well, you know, or that's my theory. I mean, because if you look at it, sponsors besides Yuki, pretty much everyone's sponsored.
Yeah. True.
There's tournaments in Asia. There's a lot of tournaments. So the 25K and 15K tournaments, there's a lot. All the federations have facilities. So you can't say no facilities, no tournaments, no sponsors. You have that. So the steps to transition from a junior to a pro, you have these steps and the infrastructure's in place. So maybe the guidance or the experience or I don't know, you know, make it nice. Don't get me in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, how many players have had, how many coaches or parents or whatever have, I mean, parents obviously never, because you only have one set, but how many coaches have had like junior Grand Slam players that they've then taken and seen how to transition them to a top 100 and had top 100 players? There's not many, you know.
True.
So
yes. Yeah.
Maybe it gets lost there. I mean, it's not easy to start again.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah. True. So Stephen, like always, it's always, you know, great to have a very open discussion with you. I mean, you don't hold back too much, even though you try to.
Trying to hold back.
No, I mean, seriously, I mean, that's the way you are. And that's because that really says a lot about you in terms of personality also, because you give it whatever you have, right? Even on the court, as a coach, you really give it all that you have.
I mean, we've had a lot of this reflection time with this quarantine and shutdown, and you know, obviously now I'm going to have a kid and speaking with my wife a lot.
So maybe you're going to sober down.
It is about misunderstanding me, because I really want you to win. I mean,
true. Yeah.
I really want, when you come here, me and my team, we really want you to reach your goal. We really do, and it just gets.
Absolutely.
It's probably I need to get better at delivering that message.
No. I mean, you already delivered well, because we can see it in the form of the players who have come out of your academy and who always come back to your academy. You know, so
Well, the
that
ones
really,
who stay, man, there's a lot that never came back.
okay. Yeah, so that says the whole story, right? The one who stayed back, they've shown the results. Yeah, so that's how it is. Yeah. So thank you so much, Stephen. I mean, it's really wonderful, talking to you, and hopefully see you, in India sometimes soon. Of course, after all these things settle down, maybe we'll
Yeah,
see that.
India. My
Yeah,
two trips to Pune were great. I
yeah,
really liked.
you're in Pune, right? Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was both times great, and working with I think Aditya and Kaifi, that was really fun. It was really fun actually. Stayed in Prashant's house. It was fun.
Yeah.
Prashant
Okay.
runs the Pune, but
True.
yeah, I mean, you media, you and the Indian Daily guys, you guys do fantastic for Indian tennis. They're lucky to have you guys.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your kind
Special.
words. Yeah, Tom, and I mean, we are just doing what we're just delivering a message of coaches like you, because you all are the real guys. We are just behind the scene and trying to promote the Indian tennis as much as we can. So yeah.
Yeah, but you do a lot to help. I mean, it's
Yeah.
good. They're lucky.
Sure. Thank you so much, Stephen, and thanks a lot for coming in. And of course, wish you a happy fatherhood going ahead. So I'm sure you're excited.
Yeah.
And
telling all the
soon.
students to learn how to change nappies is the first drill after quarantine.
True.
No tennis, change nappies first.
But then again, you don't know when is it they'll get a chance, right? Maybe it'll be next year that they will actually have the chance, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's good that, so if my daughter's ever injured, Yuki's going to be a fantastic physio, and then
I'm sure he will
do all the technique.
Yeah.
She's going to be a superstar.
True. Thanks, Stephen. Thank you so much, and pleasure having you.
Thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Take care.
Take care. Yeah.